Right, so in this video, I'm going to be stripping down the front beam and the fuel tank, cleaning them up, getting them ready for primer and paint. I've just received the bush from Old 20 Parts Company. These are out in the UK. I found so much more stuff on this website than I did on SpareX. They've got loads and loads and loads of stuff. And unfortunately, it comes by, obviously mail from the UK, which does seem to take a little bit of time, but that's not their fault. That's the postal service, I guess, and that's just the way it is. But to be able to get the parts is great. So that's the front bush. So part number 5090002. I don't know if it's original or not, but it looks all very pretty and it fits. So I can get this sandblasted, or water sandblasted is what I'm probably going to do with it outside. I might do that with the tank as well. See how that comes out. It looks in fair condition. It hasn't got any big rust holes in it. It's just got surface rust, but I won't really know until I attack it. Hopefully it hasn't got any holes in it, so petrol doesn't leak out, because that'd be bad. But then again, I could patch it up and weld it up, because it's been empty for so long, it's not going to go bang on me. So that's those two parts. Then I've got the bonnet for this tractor. This is the original bonnet. A few dents and dings in it, which I've got to get out, which is pretty easy. It's got a split down the centre, which I shall repair and get that line back down the front there, make it all nice again. But it's pretty straight, so that might get away with like a heavy sanding to get it back down to bare metal. The headlights I'm going to pull off and I'm going to move them. I don't like where they are. I don't like the little brackets. I don't think they look very nice. I've got another bonnet outside which has got the headlights just bolted straight through the side, and the lenses are turned round. So I'm going to see if I can do that with these. So I think that might look a little bit better. Probably not everybody's taste. You guys might like it like that because that's how it came out of the factory, or that's how the aftermarket parts were put on it whenever back in the day. But yeah, I feel it looked better on the side because I like the one outside. So yeah, that's the plan for today. I've got to go Christmas shopping though, so that's going to sort of split my day up a little bit. Got to go out with the missus and buy some stuff, but I'll try to get as much done as I can, but I'm not allowed to get that dirty, which is a pain in the arse. I normally get covered in crap. But anyway, that's the plan after I've had a cup of tea. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is going to get rid of this ugly wiring. It looks like it's all modern, so these headlights are obviously reproduction, I guess, but they can go back on if I can clean them all up. Yeah, don't like all this. I think we could do a bit better than this when it goes back on. Yeah, yes, it's a bit of Heath Robinson, as they say. It probably worked, but it's not pretty. Anyway, they wired that up. It goes into proper connectors, which is nice. So I like they're sort of period correct connectors, I guess, the old bullet ones. Oh, they come out. Yes-ish. Maybe not. A bit corroded. Wee bit corroded. I'm going to see if I can buy some new ones of these, because they must do them, eh? And the bullets would be soldered on as well. Anyway, oh, it does come out. All right, that's good. And I can take it apart, which I can clean up, so that's all good. It comes out. Yeah. Well, that's handy, Harry. So now unbolt these lights, pull them off. It's pretty grotty inside, doesn't look as good inside as it did on the outside, unfortunately, but so yeah, do I send it away to get sandblasted properly? That's the question. It might be worthwhile, I think. Yeah, it has got some holes in it, I can see. The last time I had one sandblasted, it came back with all the sides missing because it looks intact, but when the sand hits it, quite aggressive, it just took all of the crap out, which was a good thing, and I remade the sides of it, as you probably saw in one of my other videos, hopefully. If you didn't, then never mind. You can watch it if you want, but yeah. I don't know if that's a rust hole or just a ding, actually. It might just be a ding. Yeah, looks like something's gone through the side. Anyway, there's an original cable clip there, and the original cable looks like it's old, obviously old cloth stuff, so we'll try and put those back on. There's a few down the side. They're probably a bit far gone, so I'll remake those. But the cable ran down the left side of the tractor. So I'll replicate that when I put the new ones back on, when I put it all back together again. These were runners for the bonnet stay. Are a bit buggered, but I should be able to straighten them out, again sandblast them, and I do believe I've got a spare pair somewhere, and I've probably got some on another bonnet as well. There is another bonnet over there, which I wonder whether to speed things along, whether I just use that one. Don't know. I'll have a look. I mean, they're both the same. But that one looks in a much better shape, to be fair. So I might even do that, just so as we can get this this tractor pushed along a bit more. Then I can get this one sandblasted, and that can go on the tractor. I don't know, another one, whichever one. But I've got lots of bonnets. Yeah. Anyway, so that's okay. So this will go on another tractor that's got a real bad bonnet. Eventually I can fix it all up and get it ready to chuck on something else. So no foul. Anyway, I will strip the grill off of it. That's got to come off. That will fit in my little sandblaster, that lot. So I can do that, and I can do this front part, which is pretty ropey as well. The other one hasn't got one on it, so it will need that anyway. So yeah, I might pull the other bonnet over and chuck that up on here. I'll take these headlights off first though, because I do want to use those. So that first headlight came off, the nuts actually came off in one bit, which is quite impressive for how long they've been on there probably. Let's see if we have luck with this little bugger and all. I guess they couldn't have been on there that long. Go. I have to cut all that crap off. Look at it. Get rid of that outer, otherwise it ain't going to go for the little tiny hole they made. Probably should have had a grommet through there, I'd say, but it hasn't. There we go. Another headlight. So there's a before of our fuel tank and our front cross member. And I should do an after I've sandblasted it, because I've finished my Christmas shopping, which, to be fair, is a pain in the arse. But it's done, and it was bloody expensive. But anyway, now I'll get on with this. So I've been cleaning this up with a water sandblaster, which, thinking about it, is well, using it. They look good when you see them being used on Facebook and whatever. They look great, but in reality, they're pretty average. It clogs up and spits and farts and works okay, then doesn't work okay. So yeah, I'm not that impressed with them. But it has shown me a lot of holes in the bottom of this fuel tank. So all down this side is like a pepper pot, and down here to there, then there's a couple of little holes here. So it's done me a favour because it's exposed that. So what I'll probably do is I shall get a flat wheel, clean this up, and I'll cut that side of the tank out around here. These I might just braze these two up because they're tiny and it's quite thick steel. So I'll braze those two up, but this I'll put some new steel in there and then grind it all up so you can't see it. And that's the only rust holes I can see in the tank, so that's good. That's it. I just put that in there while I was sandblasting. It's an old fuel bowl. It's pretty buggered, so I'm not too worried about that. But I've also done the front cross member. This little fella here. So I've given that a blast. I've just had it in the sandblaster in my cabinet. Got all the loose crap off of it. So that's nearly ready for a coat of primer as well. I've got a few more bits of paint to get off, but it's 90% there, so that's good. So tomorrow I shall get these finish cleaning them up, prime and paint this. I should be welding the fuel tank up, so I probably won't get the bonnet done, but that's okay. I might even take the bonnet and get it sandblasted, or two of them. I might take them both and get them both blasted, because it's going to make my life so much easier. So I'll probably do that. Always makes a better job with when the pros do it. They've got bloody great big sandblasters. They don't have to keep poncing around unblocking them either. So that's what I should do. I might send some more parts as well. I've got a couple more bits to go. The front tie rod arms have got to be done, and that's pretty much it, I think. The grill in that bonnet, the original one over there, is a bit crappy, a bit rusty, so I will see what it's like once it's sandblasted, but I've ordered a brand new one, and the front part as well. I thought, bugger it, you know, if we're doing it properly. So that's what's going to go on there. Anyway, I'm going to give this a little go over with a flat wheel, just to see if any more holes appear, and then tomorrow, when I come back in the workshop, I'll have a full day and hopefully get this fuel tank done and primed and hopefully even painted. Because once that's on, then the tractor can run for a little bit longer without me silly little fuel tank I've got. Yes, and this can go on, the bush can go in my new bush, which is over there somewhere. And then the steering arms, wherever these buggers are, over there, I shall get them in the sandblaster next and get those all clean. I was going to change the bushes, but they actually feel really nice and tight. There's a little bit of up and down movement. I think that's normal. I might be able to get that out just by moving the arm on the top down a little bit, but I'll have a look tomorrow. But anyway, that's how far we got today. Not very far. Christmas shopping getting away, didn't it? Back tomorrow. So here's our fuel tank after I've cleaned it. I went over it with the flat disc because the water sandblaster I tried to use, absolute shit. I don't know if anyone else has tried them, but all that seems to happen is your sand gets wet in the end, clogs up, and that's it, it don't work. And then it will kind of spit fart, and you get a little bit out of it, and it'll work a little bit, and then it don't work, and it works, and it don't work. But last night I had an epiphany, whatever that means. Anyway, I've had an idea. So I'm going to have a go at modifying that. I'll probably do a video on it, see if it works, but I've got a plan. I've got a cunning plan to make that work. And if it does work, I'll probably do the bonnet with it, because yeah, it won't heat the steel up and warp it, which it won't anyway, because it's very thick steel. But yeah, I've had an idea, so I'll probably do a video on that this week sometime. But anyway, I've also cut the bottom of the tank out, which is good because it allowed me to see inside the tank, which is actually rust free. So it's really good. It's got a bit of like this. I filled it with water yesterday to wash it out, and it's got a little bit of surface in there, but that's it. But it's actually really good, really thick steel. So I reckon this had been sitting on the floor in the barn, and it had rotted this side out and that side a little bit anyway. So I've already cut out the nasties, and I've taken the sharp edges off, or most of them. A couple more in there to get rid of. All I've got to do now is cut a piece of steel out to pop in there, and we can weld that in, and then braze up this, and then I can do a pressure test on it, just to put some bubbles on it, put my compressor on it, and see if we get any leaks. But it's actually a really good solid little tank, so I'm glad I didn't throw it away. A lot of people probably would have thrown it away, but I don't like throwing stuff away. I like recycling, and this is the original, so I know you can get pattern tanks, but I don't know if it'll be as good as this one. Probably not as thick. Anyway, I'm going to cut this piece of steel out for here. I've got the piece I took out of it as a template, and then I'll make that fit in there. then I can tack that in. So I shall get on with that. And I might have a cup of tea. Right, there's my bit of steel. And there's the bit I cut out. You know, my hardest job today has been finding a bloody marker pen. You've seen that film, Gone in 60 Seconds? That's what happens to my marker pens around here. You put them down, then they go. Unbelievable. I'll probably lose them, to be fair. Anyway, I'm going to draw around this bugger, and that should give me enough meat. If I cut to the outside of my new line here, it should give me just enough meat to be able to clean up the steel and put it in the hole with minimal gaps. See them clamps? Temu. Bloody Temu. Cheap as. Just as good as whatever else I could buy locally, so yeah, quite happy about them. I think a new fuel tank is off of SpareX is about $800, something like that. So this $5 bit of steel is saving me about 895 bucks, or sorry, 795 bucks. Not very good at maths. Anyway, there's our line. Perfect. Right, now, remember where I put the pen. It's just there. It will disappear. Guaranteed. Right, quickly flick over the bench here and chop that out, and then we can offer it up to the tank. I'll just show you what I'm doing here. So I've got my bit of steel in there, and I've got to trim it. Now, the easiest way I've found to do this is to put a load of marks. So I've marked places on both faces, on the steel and on the tank. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my little vernier. And I know it's not the nicest thing to do with it, but it was only cheap. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to measure across each point like that, and just lock him off. That's the first mark, which is this one. And I'm just going to scratch him like that. I know I've got to trim that to there because one side is perfect. I've got to trim this side. I'm going to do that all the way along. My next mark is there. Lock him off. So I've got to take about 1 millimetre off there, about 2 mil off of there. Next one's a bit awkward because it's on a corner. Right on a corner. But I should be able to get it. Like that. Don't think we've got to take anything off of that. That looks good, that one. Now we're just going to work our way around. So anyway, I'll do that, then I'll trim this and we'll come back. I've got that fitting pretty well now. So all I've got to do is I'm just going to roll a little bit of a edge on there to curve it over. So I'll just put that in the old folder and just give it a bit of manipulation. Right, so that's all perfectly fitting now, so the only thing for me to do now is just tack it in. So I'll start up this end where I've got the magnet. The magnet's just holding it up so I don't drop down, in theory. Just turn this old welder down a little bit because we were doing some heavy stuff with it last time. So down a bit. See what that's like. A little tiny screwdriver just to manipulate that a little bit with. I also chucked a few holes in it so I can put a couple of spot welds in it. I might leave that corner. It's just gone down a little bit. So I'll stitch this all the way around and then we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Right, so that's now all stitched back in. I managed to fill these holes over this side with the just like spot welding them very gently. Seems to have come out all right. We won't know for sure until I put some air in it and some bubbles on it, but I'm now going to grind this all off, and then that little fuel tank there is pretty much as good as new. So yeah, as I say, saved myself a few dollars there, and by the time it's all painted, you won't even notice it's been done. Well, you will if you watch the video. But anyway, so next you're going to get the grinder out with the flat wheel, clean that off, and then it's ready for primer pretty much. So I can prime that and the front cross member. Now what I will do as well is I'm going to chuck in the bush of the cross member, because if I put that in a press after it's painted, it's probably going to get scratched. So I'll put it in and I'll just whack some grease around it so it'll come off. The paint will just fall off of it then, and then I can get this and that painted. Then I've got my steering parts to strip down, sandblast, and then get them prepped. Then the front end will pretty much be together, and then I'm going to do my modification on my sandblaster, my water sandblaster at some stage, and I can do the wheels. But let's get this done. So I'm just leak checking this. I'll just show you. Now I've got some bubbles that I use for heat pumps. So let me just zoom in there, and you should be able to see. We'll just put some air in it. We've got bubble there, bubble there, bubble there. So it's 3 little pinholes I've got to address. So I'm going to wipe it. And I'm going to try and pinpoint them. Chuck a little tiny bit more air in the bugger. So that one's right there. First, find the elusive pen. And that one's just there. Next one is just there. And there's one more. Where did he go? There it is. Right there. So all I've got to do is just tack a little tiny bit on there and up there, then we should be good. Which I'll do now. Right, so now I've leak checked it again, done the pinholes, and we've got a leak-free tank, which is very, very handy. I'll just let the air out. Then I'm just going to have to clean this up a little bit more with a DA, I guess. Get it all ready for paint. And that's that, so that's repaired. That bit of plastic there was just to seal the top. So there we go. I'll get that ready for paint now, so I shall get the DA on that, finish it off, mask up the thread, take the cap off, and that can go in the spray booth along with the front cross member after I put the bush in. So there we go, there's them bits all painted. There's a fuel tank, looking $1 million, and then some other bits I've done. Those front tyre rods, a couple of other bits are kicking around, and then the front beam. There we go. Spiffing, isn't it?